Hey everybody, I am walking Jim the dog on Jackson's Bay, and as you can tell I am in full body waterproof. It's disgusting weather, and actually we haven't had a wet Wonderwool for a couple of years, so yeah, here I am. There's Jim, and I'm going to give him a walk. And then I'm going to head over, well, I've got to pack the car and I've got to head over to Jenny's. And I leave my car for Jenny's husband to use with the kids over the weekend, and then we go in the party bus. So, yeah, a bit of fresh air before I go. I've arranged for some friends to pop in and see lovely Jim and let him out for a wee, because Dave and the kids aren't back until quite late tonight. But get my steps in before we go, and it's still beautiful, it's just very wet, really wet. Unloading at Wonderwool is okay, you can usually park fairly close to an entrance. I'm going to miss Jim the dog though. I'm in my car, and as you can see I've got grid wool. This is the little Toblerone shaped one that we bought for displaying all our pattern designs and things. So that's this big thing. And then I've got my overnight bag, I've got my day bag. I think I've got everything. I'm fully dressed. I've clearly got my phone. I've got the grid wool. I think everything else is gravy. And I've also got the food bag. Now, Jenny and I have both had a bit of a week, but she's not been well. So I said to her, don't worry about food. I will sort food for Wonderwool, just bring the big blue flask. And I have let her down. I have managed 2 decent packed lunches for us, one for today and one for tomorrow. But I meant to cook up something for dinner that we could eat in the bed and breakfast tonight, and I haven't managed it. My kids have been incredibly needy this week, and I've been working and all sorts of things. So I think instead we're just going to find some fish and chips for tea tonight, maybe head into Bilth Wells, so I might be able to show you a bit of that, or maybe we'll just eat both packed lunches today, one for lunch and one for dinner, and buy lunch at Wonderwool tomorrow. I'm not really sure. We're yet to leave for a wool show completely under control and organised. There's always something that crops up at the last minute, but I think I've got everything I need, so I'm going to beetle down to Cardiff now and catch up with Jenny. I don't think she can start packing the car until I've got there, because this grid wool needs to go on the bottom. But she's a packing ninja, so I'm sure we'll be able to fit it all in. I'll catch up with you in a bit. So I'm now in Jenny's car, and it's all packed up. We had to come back again. She forgot a few things. So we've kind of gone round and come back again. But that's okay, it's fine, we're still on track. It's only 12:15. But the trouble is, I'm hungry now because I had my breakfast at 6:30. So I might have to have a snack in the car. Anyway, it's fine, it's fine. Look at all the stuff we've got. Can't possibly need much more than that. Hey? No. You can see how low down the clouds are today. Those are hills rather than mountains. And it's coming right down over the tops. Can you see? It's ever so grey. And this is when you know you're proper in the beacons. That bit down there. Very wet, very misty, and only about 5 degrees Celsius. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is a silly system. Right, well, lay-by picnic. We're both a little... We're fine.
Weary.
Yes.
My husband told me I've got eyes like This is a PG podcast, isn't it?
It is a
Eyes
bit.
Like wee holes in the snow.
Yes,
that's what he said yesterday, but maybe not quite so polite.
Yeah.
Bit tired.
Very tired. But we made it. We have a car full of stuff.
I only took 2 attempts to get out of Cardiff. It's fine.
Yeah, I might have done a bit of recording while you were nipping back in.
Oh,
It was like the Spanish... You know that...
sneaky.
You know the Monty Python, you never expect the Spanish Inquisition, and then they have to keep going out and coming back in again with another thing on their list. That's what we were like going down the A48. And another thing! So I'm like, right, Morrison's, stitch markers, hairbrush. Yeah.
I think we've got everything now.
We're fully dressed. You've got our knitting, although you forgot yours.
You've even got your earrings. I've just noticed.
Yeah,
Well
look.
done.
Yeah,
You remembered them.
I remembered them. They're in
I
my
didn't.
jewellery box. So we are having our traditional lay-by picnic. I did explain to the viewers that I somewhat dropped off in the meal department this time round.
I'm certain that there will be food in Bilthwell somewhere.
I know, but it was
Fine.
just... And
They're nice.
I accidentally bought ciabatta rolls,
They're all right. They're nice.
but they've got holes in, and it makes it really hard to butter.
It just means there's extra butter. Now, there isn't a service station between Cardiff and Bilth.
No.
There's the odd petrol station that might have a loo round the back.
There's a retail park in Merthyr, which is disgusting,
Is it?
and so's the retail park.
Oh.
Sorry if you're from Merthyr, but it really is a bit of an armpit, isn't it?
I believe there's a toilet a couple of miles up the road.
Yeah.
Might be reviewing that.
I went before we left.
So did I.
What's the matter
It's
with
been
you?
one of those days. And the amount of tablets I'm having to take, I've about doubled my fluid intake.
Mm.
I don't know if if you've been following. Yeah, I was in hospital last week. Fun times.
You were.
My ear swelled up like a balloon. It was. It was. It was really weird, and they didn't know what was wrong with it for the first couple of days. And then the third doctor to look at it decided that it probably was cellulitis. Not an First they thought it was an infection of the cartilage rather than the skin. Oh, I know.
I'm okay.
Yeah, well, infection. And but they didn't know what to do, so they put me on IV antibiotics, and yeah. Well, I'm still taking antibiotics because I had 3 full days of IV antibiotics, and then I got sent home with 10 days of tablets that would knock a horse out, I reckon.
She's rattling with every step.
God.
But
I looked on the interwebs,
yeah,
and apparently 500 milligrams of flucloxacillin is a strong dose,
yeah.
and I'm taking 1,000 milligrams 4 times a day.
You won't catch anything for the rest of your natural life.
No. So, but I don't know if it's a normal reaction, and I'm completely going off piste, but I've been so tired this week. So tired. So I'm lucky that I had a lot of stock ready already, because last week was out due to illness, and this week has been out due to tiredness. I've only been able to do sitting down jobs because I've literally been falling over and sleeping.
Yeah, we've both had a bit of a week.
You've just been ridiculously busy, as ever.
I needed to ring my mum yesterday because I haven't had a minute to have a conversation with her, and I wanted to just phone for a chat. And I made this absolutely enormous master list, and I decided that my prize for getting through all the things on my list would be that I could sit down at the end and phone my mum. And then I started laughing. And then I thought, no, just phone her anyway. So I plugged my earphones into my mobile phone and rang her whilst cooking the dinner, because there was no way on God's green earth I was going to have any time.
It probably would have been about midnight if you'd
It
waited
probably would have
until
been
the
about
end of the
midnight.
list, and then she wouldn't have liked you very much.
So I'm going to just turn you around because we've parked in a lay-by with a view. Not sure if you'll be able to see. That's the lake. It's the Cartref Reservoir. And Jenny very kindly positioned us so that we weren't opposite a nappy bag hanging from a tree. There is an old barbecue down there. And a couple of cider bottles, but you know, this is Wales. We're probably another hour out, aren't we?
Mm.
Anyway. And yeah, so I was saying, I've got lunch. I've got a whole bag of food here. So I've got 2 packed lunches for us, but I was supposed to also make dinner for tonight that we could eat and have a bed picnic. But I failed, so I think we're going to have to find curry.
She's very hard on herself.
In Bilf.
Oh dear, you failed. We'll have to have a curry.
Well, I know, but I did say I would.
It's such a shame.
Mm.
I'm gutted that we have to have a curry.
I will probably manage.
Yeah. I dare say. I might survive. Well, at least we've got the industrial part of it out of the way. We've gone through the valleys.
Yeah.
We're up in the Bracken Beacons.
We're in Paris now.
So it's all pretty.
It's all nice.
Mm.
It's all wet, but it's nice.
And there is forestry to our right. And I used to drive up this road to go home and visit Mum and Dad before they moved to Cardiff and followed us down to Cardiff, because I grew up in Mid Wales. And whenever I drove up there when the boys were little, I used to tell them that the Welsh dragon lived in those forestry.
Oh, really?
In the forest, because there was usually a little plume of smoke coming up, and they'd be like, "What's that, Mum?" "Oh, that's the Welsh dragon. It means he's home."
Lying to your children. It's a time-honoured tradition.
Yep.
Right, well, I'm going to finish my sandwich and my cup of tea. And maybe we'll film a bit of setup. Depends how far behind we are. We'll have to see.
Fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Right, we've made it. I've had to change cardigans because it's absolutely raw. So cold. So I've got my Kate Davies epistrophe on. We are on stand H. And this is the before. So there's all the stock. And we've got piles of grid wool to put together. But Jenny ordered chairs. And look, we've got purple cushions. So once you've dumped all your stock out, you have to go and move your car into the car park. So Jenny's gone to do that. I'm on tea making duty, but we've just come to the horrible realisation that nobody packed sugar. And Jenny has sugar in her tea. So I've instructed her to steal some or speak to the nice ladies that run the cafe. So here we are, back at Wonderwool, back in our home show. It took me a little while. Jenny went to park the car and I got kicked out to go and sign this in. And it took me about 20 minutes longer than expected because I bumped into Becky from Rivernits and Estelle from Midwinter, and then Grace, who is beyond measure. It's her first time here, so she's, I think, slightly shell-shocked. So it took me a long time to get all the information and get the deposit check sorted, but cup of tea. I'm going to dig out the whizzy drill to get all the grid wool together, and then we can get cracking. But it's cold enough I can feel my nose is chilly, so I think probably crawling around the floor with massive bits of grid wool will warm me up nicely. Right, we are part way through setup. We have shelves. We have this fancy pants Toblerone shaped display for all our patterns. Look at that. And we've pinned up all of the shawls, and when I say we, I mean me. Jenny passed me pins, and she's bought this lovely purple fabric to back the grid wool with this time, and I think it looks really nice. I think the yarn's going to stand out much more against that background. Now, we did have a quick break for a cup of tea and a Kit Kat, but yeah, we're still going. We've got all of this, we've got all the hooks to put out and all of the yarn to hang, and I actually can't feel my nose anymore. I'm wearing my nice woolly cardigan, but my face is cold. So yeah, we're getting there. Okay, the giggling in the background is Jenny because my phone just took another random photograph. I don't know what activates it. You're just minding your own business and the bleeding thing takes a picture and you end up with this.
She says swears.
I said swears, but there's no swears on the podcast, so I wasn't recording. Anyway, we are back at the bed and breakfast. There is my, actually if I extend my selfie stick, we're both in view now.
So I'm going to have to pay attention and not eat.
Yeah.
Because I'm hungry.
Don't send it to me. We're really hungry and we're having yet another sandwich. The plan was to go out for dinner, but we just didn't want to. We decided we would rather come home and have another packed lunch.
Yeah.
And
she makes really nice sandwiches.
They are quite nice sandwiches. I've got goat's cheese in mine, which means Jenny won't touch it. And
it's safe.
And she waved decaf Earl Grey tea bags at me earlier, so neither of us want the other one's food, do we?
No chance of stealing.
No. So, yeah, bed picnic, and then possibly knitting, possibly just going straight to sleep. But we're out tomorrow night, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know where yet.
No. Yeah. But it's like that now. Every time we go to a show, we just see loads of our friends.
Well, that's one of the best bits about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, talking of the carbeth, did you manage to knit the carbeth in the 2 days since you talked about it?
No. Didn't manage to bang out my carbeth, but I did finish my pavement sweater, and I think it's going to be too cold.
I was going to say, you could have used that carbeth this weekend.
I really could have done. It's freezing. It's like 5 degrees. But our beds have electric blankets.
And the room's warm as well.
And Dave won't let me have an electric blanket because he's mean. And now I've got one. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
so
and
she'll boil all night.
If you remember, if any of you watch my Edinburgh Yarn Festival vlogs, Jenny and I went to the Corn Exchange on the Wednesday. The Corn Exchange, put my teeth in, and we helped Carthen of Triskelion Yarns set his stand up because he was setting up by himself. And he promised us yarn, and he came to see us today, and in return for a couple of hours work I have got 6 skeins. That's actually
amazing.
A pretty good colour representation.
It's such a nice deep
of
colour.
his Scylfing DK, which is 75% Blueface Leicester, 25% Gotland, and this is in the colourway Cofgodas. 6 skeins. And I think it's going to be a Yorktown jumper. And this, bless him, so he gave this to us for free basically because we worked for him. So I'm hoping that having been given a sweater quantity of yarn, I won't have to buy anything. Well, not wool anyway.
You said that you did have 2 things on a list. That
I did
you didn't need to bring the list because you remembered it.
No, I've forgotten it now.
Were there any needles?
No, I don't think so. I don't need needles.
So it was wool. Oh, indestructible man wool. Didn't you want some indestructible man wool?
Yes, but I'm going to go and see Ange, and I'm going to buy it from Yarn and Yarns in Penarth.
Okay.
Nope, it's gone. This is the whole point of lists. You write them down so you don't have to remember them. And then I forgot my list, and yeah.
She's totally done for. Yeah.
Right, I've got a sandwich. I've made a nice. I was clever. I made 1 cup of tea in a cup, and then I made another cup of tea in my travel mug. So I've got 2 cups of tea without having to get out of bed.
She's all sorted, and I spotted a lot of Welsh cakes.
Oh no, half a dozen of those is for Becky, and the other half a dozen is for Estelle.
Where are mine?
There's a 3rd bag in there with 9 in, so we've got more than them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm bribing people with food.
I need to find some reason for you to bribe me.
But interestingly, we can just have a quiet evening. Because often we're sort of labelling things, or Jenny's making a few more progress keepers. But we're all sorted, so yeah, we're just going to eat sandwiches.
I don't have it in me today.
I don't think I do either. So yeah, cup of tea and a sandwich, I think. And I'll check in the morning. I'll show you my breakfast. I know it gets a bit boring looking at other people's food, but this is a really good breakfast, and I think you would enjoy seeing it.
Oh, she's so lovely. Our what do you call her, landlady at a B&B?
I suppose so, yeah.
Hostess.
Lovely Monica.
Yeah.
She's fab.
Yeah.
Right, well, signing off then. Night-night.